If I were a young woman now, I'm not sure how I'd cope.
With all the things that you have, the opportunities, the technology, I'd like to think it could be a world of pleasure.
But I fear instead it would only be a world of pressure. Pressure to be the perfect mother, the perfect wife, the perfect friend.
Pressure to be successful, a boss, a leader.
If I had my time again, I wouldn't create a to-do list. I'd create a to-don't-do list.
I'd give myself the time to indulge in the things that I now understand are the most important.
What I wouldn't give to extend those goodnight kisses instead of moaning about having to get up early in the morning.
Oh. What I wouldn't give for an extra second of cuddling my babies before they became too big to hold.
What I wouldn't give for 5 more minutes on the dance floor while my legs were still strong enough to carry me.
And this isn't about stopping our fight for equality.
Mine was a generation who burnt their bras.
But we were never in danger of burning out.
No. This is simply about you as a human being. There's the most important word, being. Being lost in the moment.
Being at peace with the world.
Being kinder to myself.
Being kinder to others.
Being able to let go and being proud to do so.
Believe me, if I were a young woman now, I'd spend more time being.
Not doing.
And we are live.
Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to Rejuvenesce TV. And my name is Sue Alexander, and I'm joined by the one and only Rent Living.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're at, and thanks for sharing your time with us and joining us here today. We've got a very exciting and interesting show lined up for you today.
We have, and first of all, let me say a huge hello to every woman on the planet as it's International Women's Day, a celebration of equality, of safety, of health, of wellness. And I would just like to say to all my warrior princess women out there, have an amazing day and celebrate who you are. And one of the reasons that we chose that video this morning, which I think I've seen many times and it always makes me cry, is because it's a beautiful way of introducing two subjects that are very close to my heart. One is stress and how we manage it and focusing on that, and also really integrating that into the female and male energy and how we individually can support ourselves and change our perception on stress. So if you have friends and family that would really benefit from our knowledge and wisdom over 70 years of combined health and modality in the health and wellness industry, please just send the link forward and people can watch this on YouTube, they can watch it on the rejuvenesce.com channel, and also jump onto our website to sign up for our newsletters, and of course get in touch with our producer Charlie on the number below if you would like to ask a question, if you'd like to join the show, or if you'd like to be a guest because you have empowering elements to what you do that are going to support our audience. So we're really here today to share with you the impacts of stress and how they can be super positive for you. So I'm just going to ask Charlie to bring up the next slide so that we can just talk you through some of the areas that might empower you rather than distress you.
This may also be a very good time for you to grab your pen and piece of paper because as you see with our shows, we like to provide all kinds of content and helpful tips and tricks to step and guide you through in very simple and easy ways that can help you to live the life you love in the body you love to live in. So having a notepad or any kind of a note-taking something with you to jot down some of these notes. We're going to be going through at least 9 different stress areas in your life that can be dramatically affecting you in negative ways. And we're going to talk about how we can easily turn those around so that they can empower you rather than take away from you.
So what is stress? Well, I think mostly people do think that when we talk about stress, it's a negative thing. Would you agree that stress is all negative?
Well, generally people seem to see stress as a negative thing. And the reality is, in this day and age today, how people handle stress, or that magical word, manage stress. You know, when I hear somebody say manage stress, it actually kind of reminds me of managing ailment and disease, and managing pain, and managing negative relationships or anything else that might be negative in your life. And what Rejuveness is really all about, in the core of both yours and my guidance and teaching with clients, is not to manage stuff. Don't learn to live with it or learn to deal with it. It's more learning to look at it in a different way, to understand it, maybe question your beliefs around it and your choices around it, and look at how we can use stress and other negative things, seemingly negative things in our life, to empower us and to put us back in our power rather than take power away from us.
So stress has many guises, and for lots of people, the first thought process when you're in a stressful situation is, you know, how is this affecting me physically and emotionally? So let's just share with everyone, and I think we have another slide, Charlie, just to really share with everyone what, you know, and how stress can manifest itself both physically and emotionally.
Yeah, mentally as well. Especially now with everything that's going on with lockdowns and being stuck in the home or not being able to get out to do the things that we're normally used to doing and enjoying life to the full. People are stressed, and the more stress there is, the more issues that seem to come with it. You know, we're hearing things about relationship abuse is on the rise, obesity is on the rise, depression is on the rise, suicides are on the rise. All these negative issues that people are dealing with can be looked at in a different way, so that we don't take these things on and beat ourselves up and destroy our lives or destroy our body. Rather, we look at things in a way and reanalyze the choices that we're making so that we can empower ourselves. Again, I keep using that word, empowering ourselves, and that's what it's all about. And as you can see on this slide that Charlie's just put up, all different areas of our body, different systems in our body are affected by stress. You want to go through some of those?
Well, I think that for a lot of people, that it is very much an emotional and a physical response. They tend to come hand in hand. And I know personally, if I'm stressed, then I get brain fog. And my inability to concentrate is one of the things that I experience. So let's go through some of the things that you might relate to in your own personal identification of how stress can affect you. Let's start at the very top. Well, you know, for a lot of people that are very stressed, they get headaches. And that comes because of the systems of the body suddenly being put under pressure.
Yeah, it's the pressure, but also, you know, what I've really noticed with people is when they're stressed, they kind of stop breathing.
Yeah.
You know, I really notice it, and this is something that you can take note yourself. Write this down. Just write down the word breathe. Because as soon as you start to feel stressed, whether it's you walk into a room and you feel stressed, or you've got a bunch of work and you're stressed because you have a deadline to reach, notice your breathing. And breathing is vital for many, many different aspects of how our body works. But especially if you stop breathing, you're going to get headaches. It just comes with the territory. Your brain, the oxygen level in your brain needs that in order to function properly. If you start holding your breath, you're going to get headaches.
And I think also there's a tension in the muscles as well.
Absolutely.
Is that when you suddenly have a stress response to the body, whatever's going on, then you do naturally tighten up your muscles. So again, that causes neck pain.
Absolutely.
And then people find themselves holding themselves incorrectly.
Yeah.
And, you know, this is about being aware. It's about how do you deal with your stress. And even with that pen and paper that you've got right now, right in front of you, you know, jot this down, share it with your friends, let everyone know that we're talking about stress today. And who do you know that really could benefit from listening to some wisdom when it comes to stress, because so many people, because of what's going on in the world right now, are possibly more stressed than they have ever been before. And so what we're really sharing with you is, first of all, to identify what happens physically, emotionally, and environmentally with the stress that we're under. So it could be brain fog, it could be tension in the muscles, it could be that you get headaches. For a lot of people, that then can go on to being a migraine. Then the organs tend to necessarily not actually be able to perform in the way that they would normally.
Exactly.
So a lot of people find that their digestive system is really affected.
Yeah, and that's exactly where we come into the long-term side effects of stress. So the short-term ones are, like you just said, you could get a headache, or you're not sleeping very well, or these different things, grumpiness, different mood swings. But long-term side effects, you start getting into heartburn, indigestion problems, maybe weight gain, maybe other kinds of chronic ailment and disease, body pains, all kinds of different things that come from long-term stress and high cortisol levels.
And I think cortisol is a really important area for us to discuss, because when the adrenals, which are there for our fight and flight, and therefore if we're running away from a dinosaur needs to happen, then that's wonderful to have lots of adrenaline in the body. It's also what helps us in our sporting activity. It also helps us cross the road quickly if somebody's driving too fast. So the adrenal response is really, really important. And it's the cortisol that is released by the adrenal glands that helps us to deal with fight and flight.
Absolutely.
Now, unfortunately, it's also responsible for slowing down our ability to digest and assimilate food properly. So if you're somebody that is sitting there and feeling very stressed, if you have high cortisol levels in your blood, you will not be able to really function very well. The digestive system doesn't work very well, and you won't utilize the nutrition that's going into your body. So
and energy levels go way down as well, because that energy that you would be using for digesting or thinking or other bodily functions is now being siphoned away and kind of almost compartmentalized, put aside for that fight and flight. Because again, the whole key thing that your body on a positive side that you're able to have is all that extra energy. And you hear sometimes when somebody's been in an accident or something happens and they're stressed right out, all of a sudden they can pick up a car or they can do something almost superhuman. Well, that's because all this energy that your body uses in all kinds of different ways is now being siphoned to use for that stress. And so knowing this, you can actually use that to your advantage. And there's a key point that you can write down: how to use stress to empower you rather than take away from you. So rather than sitting there feeling drained and no energy and stressed and unhappy and bloated and whatever, get up and use that energy that you now have stored up and at your disposal quite easily.
So scientifically, we know that if you have high levels of cortisol in your blood, it's impossible to maintain a healthy weight. So if you have issues with weight, but you're also saying, I don't eat very much, then it can often be because the chemistry in the body is not right, and there is an imbalance. Yeah, it causes high levels of acidity in the body, and it becomes impossible. And for a lot of people, whether you're male or female, that weight sits around the abdomen, where those
the protection area.
Exactly, right where those vital organs are, which are meant to be doing their jobs correctly. They can't, because the constitution of what they're sitting in is completely incorrect.
Absolutely. Well, it's absolutely correct, because that's how the body is designed to work. So it's incorrect for normal bodily functions, but because you're dwelling or you're living in that stress, the body then shuts down things that it doesn't necessarily need at the moment and focuses on what it needs at the moment.
So we need to change that. We need to. So what can we do, Reg? To if you're sitting and you're feeling very lethargic, your digestive system's clearly not working properly, and you're feeling super stressed, how do you change your state?
Yeah, well, awareness is the key. Awareness is the key. You're going to hear me say that throughout all 10 of the vital keys that we go through. Because awareness is really the key to you designing your own health and wellness program that works perfectly for you, your personality type, and your lifestyle type. So awareness, if you're sitting somewhere or walking somewhere or in a work environment or in a relationship environment that's stressing you out, be aware of that. Be aware, especially of the people you surround yourself with. Now, I know we've mentioned this in the detox section, and we've also mentioned this in the environment section. We're going to mention it again in the stress section, because the people that you surround yourself with are either helping and supporting you to be the best version of yourself, or they're ensuring you will never achieve that. And it's that black and white. If you surround yourself with people who are negative and belittling and degrading and judgmental and basically horrible to you and not allowing you to be the best version of you, it's going to cause endless amounts of issues in all areas of your life and how your body functions. So awareness, that is key number one.
So if you've just joined us on Rejuveness TV, welcome. Please do share the link with your friends and family. Today we're really discussing how stress can impact your life, and our perception is everything. How can we change stress into a positive way of ensuring that we're in balance all the time? And I'm joined today with Reg Lenny, as always, on Rejuveness TV, to really help and guide you and support you to feeling the best version of you. And as everything affects everything, today what we're looking at is when we are stressed, how does it affect the body? So we're just taking you through the kind of things that you might experience on a physical level and an emotional level, and how you can support yourself with your surroundings and your environment to really manage that stress, and not just manage it, but actually completely change it.
Yes, and that is one of the things, again, like I was mentioning earlier, I'm not into managing things. I don't want to learn how to be stressed and how to deal with that. Just like I don't want to learn how to be sick and how to deal with that, or how to be fat and how to deal with that. If I have something that I want to change in my life, or something I'm having to deal with that's not making me feel very good, I want to learn how to change it. And again, that's what Rejuveness is all about. It's not us telling you how to change or what to change, but giving you little tips and tricks and simple strategies and techniques that can support and guide you to choosing the changing that you need to do. So right now I'm going to give you 3 quick tips on what to deal with if you become aware that you're stressed. Number 1, look at your environment. Are you feeling good in the environment that you're in? If not, get up and go outside. Even if you can't go for a walk somewhere because of lockdown, you can at least go out your front door, get some fresh air, look around, look up at the sky. If you've got no better view, focus on some clouds, or focus on the stars, or focus on something. But get outside and breathe. Number 2 is music. What's one of the powerful senses that you have is music, and it's very powerful. Music can transform you back to great days in your past life. You can think of something when you were a child. You can think of something, when you were having wonderful times in your life. Music can transport you to wonderful places. And if you've got nothing that you want to think back about your life, then just find different types of music that make you feel good, whether it's sound effects or instrumental or somebody singing or whatever. Find something that works well for you, that makes you feel good and can take you out of the mental focus that you're on, so that you're able to change that focus into something else. Sense number 3 is smell. This comes back into essential oils, or cooking, or anything really, flowers, bushes, these different types of things that you can use. That again, the essence, flower and natural essence or cooking essence can dramatically change the way you feel about yourself and the environment that you're in. Quite quickly, quite easily. So one of my favorite things is essential oil. You just literally take the cap off and take a smell right out of the bottle. That can change things just like that.
What's your favorite one?
Well, I've got a number. Pine, I would say, is probably my favorite, just feel good, because I love, whenever I smell pine, it reminds me of Canada, back in being in the mountains and hiking and biking and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it instantly transforms me back to the mountains.
Nice. Mine's rose. So nice. I always imagine walking through that rose garden. So absolutely.
Nice.
So other areas that stress can really affect is obviously it raises your blood pressure.
It does.
So if somebody is worried because they're having heart palpitations, they can feel the blood running through their veins. Obviously, you know, if it's acute or chronic, it can cause health issues if prolonged. How does one calm yourself down and help to balance the blood pressure? What would be your suggestion naturally?
I'm going to use my favorite word again. Awareness. Awareness. Why am I saying awareness? Yeah, a lot of people go, oh yeah, I'm aware, I'm aware. I'm aware I have heart problems. I'm aware I have health problems. I'm aware I have weight issues. Yeah, it's not being aware of the issue. It's being aware of what makes you feel that way. One of my favorite sayings is, where energy flows, results flourish, right? What you focus on is what you achieve. So if you focus on, like you were mentioning, I'm scared that I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm scared that I've got high blood pressure. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. Well, what are you thinking about? You're thinking about the issue. Stop thinking about the issues. Honestly, that's the awareness. The second you are aware that you're thinking about the issue, the problem, the fear, whatever it is that you've got, that's what you're thinking about. And this is why people can deal with depression for years and years and years. Because what are you thinking about? You're thinking about what you're depressed about, right? People that go to counselors and they spend years and years and years going to counselors because you keep going to the same counselor talking about the same issues. Well, how are you ever going to get past the issues if you keep talking about them all the time? And that's not belittling them or negating them or saying that they have no importance. Yes, they have a whole lot of importance in your life, but you don't want to focus on them all the time. You want to change your focus to something that empowers you and enlightens you and supports you to growing to be that better version of yourself. So as soon as you're aware that you're sitting there in fear or worry or stress about something, change that perception. That awareness will allow you to go, okay, I'm aware that I'm focused on the negative. Now what can I focus on that's positive? And this is where finding your passion, finding your purpose, finding your hobbies, finding things that you want to do that make you feel good about you.
I also think that a lot of people, when they have, for instance, got issues with high blood pressure, they tend to be on medication for that. Again, that creates a lot of fear. That then puts a lot of stress on the adrenal glands. And hey, guess what? You also have stress and anxiety too. So some little simple things that you can think about naturally is have a massage regularly. It can make such a difference. Reflexology, absolutely incredible. Homeopathic remedies can be really supportive. Things like the Bach flower remedies are amazing too. So, you know, find out what natural remedies you can do. We also know that stimulants, and certainly this is one for if you have got high blood pressure, you are quite stressed, having things like alcohol and coffee can make the condition worse. So try and again, look at what could be very gently and underlying cause you to be having even more anxiety and stress. And just see how your body feels without those elements of things like the caffeine. I know that there are a lot of scientific studies that say a glass of red wine at the end of the day can really be supportive. Well, for some people it can, for other people, you know, what's one person's medicine is another person's poison. So you just need to be mindful of what works for you. And what we are trying to share with you is that many things can really help and support different people. But what we want to do, as Reg said, is really to highlight the awareness that what patterns do you take when you become stressed? And when that awareness is awakened within you, then you can have the antidotes within your lifestyle to actually treat them naturally before they cause disease.
Right, and I think the key thing there is awareness. As soon as you realize you're feeling stressed, instead of reaching for something that can help you deal with the stress, do that. Give yourself a little bit of love and a little bit of time, and just think, what is causing me this stress? Is it something that you're doing that you don't want to be doing? Or are you in an area you don't want to be in? Or are you with somebody you don't want to be with? What is creating the stress rather than having to reach for something to help you deal with it?
Absolutely. And so then we go on to other areas that your stress can also present itself in. So the skin is a big one. And certainly as a holistic therapist, I was trained as a beauty therapist. The skin was always treated independently. Put this cream on, put this lotion on, treat it with this particular product. And to be absolutely honest, it starts from within.
Absolutely.
Any skin ailments come from the gut,
Yep.
they come from the mind. If we can get those two things sorted,
Yep.
then the skin, being the largest organ of elimination and
Yep.
second to the lungs, it will most definitely help your skin.
Yep.
So again, we need to really ensure that our skin, you're treating it with healthy, non-toxic ingredients that will help to calm you down. The conditions that are associated with stress that are severe are things like eczema, dermatitis, and psoriasis. And those three skin conditions probably account for the majority of why doctors' waiting rooms
Yep.
are very full.
Yep.
Because the skin is trying to share with you that you're very stressed. You're doing something
Exactly.
to your body
Yep.
that it doesn't like, and it's trying to get rid of it as quickly as possible. And what better way? Through the skin, because it's quick. I always used to teach my students that your skin is like a bark of a tree, and what a tree does with all its waste material is it puts it on the bark, and the thicker the bark, the more waste it's had to deal with in the
Exactly.
environment.
Exactly.
And we're the same. So really importantly, look at what you're putting on your skin, looking at what chemicals that you're using in your home, and also really how you are treating your skin with whether it's makeup or aftershave or shaving foams. All of those things are going to be a stress factor onto your skin. So we really do need to look at the element of everything affects everything.
Exactly.
And your skin can really, you can support your skin by skin brushing, exfoliating, drinking lots of water, making sure you have a very alkaline diet. So, much as vegetables as you possibly can, and fruits and natural foods will all really help.
Yeah.
And aggravating the skin by putting on aggressive creams, steroid creams, only in severe situations where you have to use them. But also the foods, think about what foods might be irritating your skin, because that's really stressful.
Well, as you say, everything affects everything. And I've been working, again, this is something that I work with clients for over 30 years. And I've had clients in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s who have been dealing with and suffering from many different types of ailments and illness in the skin for years and years and years and years. And they're told by specialists that they can never get rid of it. But again, the reality is this is not 100% accurate, right? And I've got clients, and I've got endless testimonials that people can read. If you just do a Google search on any of our testimonials from our clients, clients that can eliminate issues that they've been dealing with for 30 years or longer within 5 to 6 weeks. Gone, completely gone. I've had clients that couldn't ever go out into the sunshine. They had to wear hats and long sleeve shirts and all kinds of skin creams and stuff because they couldn't go into the sun because their skin was so sensitive. Is gone. Now they can live their normal life. And why? It's not because we've done anything magic with them. It's common sense. Your body is like a car or like any other system of systems that work together. If something is off balance, something is going to show up. And as you said, the skin is the largest organ of the body. And anything going on in the body is going to be reflected in the skin. You want to get rid of skin issues? Take a look at the choices that you're making. What are you eating? What are you surrounding yourself with? What are you using on, in, and around you? And that's going to very clearly explain to you why you have the skin issues that you've got.
And then another area of stress is fatigue and tiredness. How many people, have come to us and said, I'm just tired all the time. And again, so many doctors have patients in their waiting room and they are suffering from tiredness. And they want to know, why are they tired? And, stress takes an awful lot of energy and it really does make you exhausted. How can we help if you have tiredness and fatigue? What would be your key things to eliminate that?
Yeah, well, key thing to tiredness is lack of sleep. It's not just pushing and pushing and pushing yourself with the belief that, I don't need a lot of sleep. I can deal with 4 hours. I mean, there's lots of people who have written books or lots of courses around that say, oh, we don't need lots of sleep. You can live on 4 hours of sleep and just keep going. Well, that is 100% false. And all these people writing these books and making these claims do not understand the functioning of the body or the mind and the systems in the body. And these people are dealing with, or if they're not already, they will be dealing with all kinds of ailments and illness, mentally, emotionally, physically. You need your sleep. This comes back to one of the suggestions that I made the other day, and if you didn't watch our show the other day, you might want to write this down. I have 4 lists that I like to keep going all the time that I use as my daily schedule. My need tos, my have tos, my I would like tos, and my want tos. And each of these lists are living lists, and I write everything in. So that would be, your need tos are, I need to get up and go to work, or I need to get up and, go take the kids to school, or things that you just can't change. And that's like the have tos, right? The have tos are, I need to eat, I need to breathe, I have to do these things just to maintain my life. And then you get into the want tos and you'd like tos. Well, those are, I would like to learn a new language. I would like to go on a holiday. I'd like to, do something. And these can go in these different lists. And it's vital to do one of these things from one of these lists every single day. And it doesn't mean that you take the entire day to do it, or you even take a couple hours. Sometimes you can do it as little as 5 minutes, right? And if you treat yourself with the things that you would like to and want to do, you're going to find that's going to help to lower your stress levels, because you're giving back to yourself. You're loving yourself. But the other thing about doing these lists is it helps to clear your mind. So you get it down on the paper, because a lot of the clients that I've talked to, they'll say, well, I lay awake at night thinking about all the things that I have to do. Well, if you write it down, your brain's not going to be thinking about all the things you have to do, because your brain can be clear. You've got all this stuff written down. You know exactly what you need to do, what you want to do, what you like to do, and what you have to do. So you don't have to be worrying about it all night that you're going to forget about it. Right? So I mean, that's just a couple of things that you can do. And getting your sleep, you got to get your sleep. And looking at your environment, make sure that your room is dark. You don't have any electronics in the room. There's no lights on, because again, whether your eyes are closed or not, your body can see and be aware of different lighting, because lighting is a vibration as well and an energy source, right? So you will feel whether there's light on in your bedroom or not. And so your bedroom needs to be dark. It needs to be as quiet as possible. And like we mentioned the other day about quiet, if you've got noisy neighbors or those types of things, you can put on different types of music like running water or natural sound effects that will drown out a lot of these unnatural noises. So these are, and essential oils, another one of my favorite essential oils and big green leafy plants in your bedroom. These type of things will help you to get your sleep better.
So if you've just joined us on Rejuveness TV, please do share with your friends and family. Today our topic is stress and how we can really empower our health by using stress in a very, very positive way. And we've been sharing with you the symptoms of stress and also the antidotes to stress. And Reg has just been sharing with us one of the key areas when you are stressed is fatigue. And, how can you really support that fatigue? Getting much more sleep. What about if you can't sleep and you're lying awake night after night, you're pacing the room at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're having cups of tea when you should be snoring, and you're keeping maybe your partner awake.
Yep.
How would you deal with that? What would you do to change that? Because it is very, very stressful for everyone in the household when you know that somebody's suffering from insomnia because of stress.
Right.
What would you do?
And this comes back to my favorite word again, awareness. So really, I mean, and this is a fact. This is not a joke. Awareness. What are you stressed about? Grab a pen and a piece of paper when you're awake at night and just start writing down. What's going on in your mind? Just to do bullet points. Stressed about this, I'm stressed about that, I'm thinking about this, I'm worried about that, I'm fearful, I'm whatever, right? Or if you just simply can't sleep because you're hyper or because whatever, what is that? Did you eat shortly before going to bed? Did you drink coffee? Have you had alcohol? Did you take some drugs? Are you doing something, taking something? Are you in your bed with somebody you don't want to be with? Is somebody creating anxiety around you, right? So look at all your areas. Use your 5 senses again. Smells, feeling, energy around you, people around you, your environment, and eating and drinking and all these types of things. What's going on around you? Because you already know. I can give you all kinds of suggestions, but I'm never going to know what's really going on in your world. You know better than anybody. So create that awareness. Why am I not sleeping? What's going on in my mind? What's happening in my environment? And what do I need to do to change that? To be more comfortable and relaxed in order to sleep.
Fantastic. So, Charlie, I'm going to ask you to take that off the screen and just whip to a couple of the other slides, and then take the slides off would be amazing. So, we're really talking about how the stress can be very, very positive for our health, because if we know what's going on, we can change it. And that's why Reg and I work internationally. We spend a lot of our time on Zoom these days coaching our clients to ultimate health and well-being. And really, everything affects everything. So if something's showing up in your system, in your body, if you suddenly find there's a massive change going on with your digestive system or your neck pain or whatever it might be, this is your body alerting you to something's out of kilter, you're out of balance. And what we want to do is ensure that you have that sense of awareness so that you can change your perception. So we want to take negativity that people always associate with stress and really give you the tools to empower you to use that very positively. And the impact of how you deal and manage with stress needs to be changed to how you empower yourself with stress. Because I think we're all aware that it's there for fight and flight, it's there to support you, to share with you that there's danger, and in lots of reasons that adrenal cortisol level is so important because it stops you from hurting yourself. But what we also know is that chronic stress is a major contributor to ill health and can lead to disease. So if you're suffering from chronic stress, that can then lead to ailments where wherever your blueprint is within your body, it can show up with you having headaches, or it can show up with you having migraine issues, or it can show up with you having digestive issues, weight management issues, not sleeping properly, and also all the different systems of the body not actually working harmoniously. So what we're now going to go on to is really sharing with you some of the things that can help you. Let's talk about food, because a lot of food can really help you. What would you suggest for somebody who has been chronically stressed for a really long time? What should their diet look like? What should they be eating?
Clients that I work with that are dealing with depression, obesity, migraine headaches, chronic aches, pains, ailment, disease, illnesses, things that are negative in your life. And that's even blurred vision, buzzing in the ears, funny taste in your mouth, spots in your eyes, mood swings, all these different types of things. Be aware of the foods that you're eating. Look at the ingredients, or actually just look at it. I mean, if it looks like a food that can actually fuel your body, then awesome. If it looks like something that you have no idea what the heck it is, what's in it, you can't pronounce half of the ingredients, be aware. Again, think of your body as a machine. You and your body mentally are two completely different things. You look at your body and you look in the mirror and you go, I want to look a certain way and I want to feel a certain way and everything needs to be efficient. Whereas your body looks at things and goes, everything needs to be efficient. And which means I'm going to store a bunch of stuff. If you're feeding yourself with stuff that your body doesn't know what to do with, breads, sugars, drinks that have all these different ingredients in it that you don't know what to do with, all these different pre-packaged, pre-made, fast foods, all these things, they're made of stuff that your body doesn't really recognize. And if you're bluntly honest with yourself and you look at most of the stuff that's in your cupboard, you'll realize it's crap food. It's just like putting crap fuel in your car. It's not going to run very well. And if you look in the grocery basket of most people walking around grocery stores these days, their baskets are 90% filled with crap food. And that's why you can see so many people have the ailments and illnesses that they have. So if you're dealing with stress and you actually want to do something to change it, again, blunt honesty. right? We can give you all kinds of different things and you can come up with a million excuses why it won't work for you. But blunt honesty, do you actually want to change? First question to ask yourself. If you don't want to change, then just keep doing what you've always done. If you want to lose weight, eliminate chronic ailments and illness and problems and issues that you're dealing with, then think common sense and listen to some of the stuff we've been telling you. Download VU, download the 10 Vital Keys off of our website, and listen to the guidance and suggestions that we give you, because your health and wellness and lifestyle can change in an instant. It really can. And you can prove it to yourself. In fact, I challenge you to prove me wrong, that you can't change chronic issues that you're dealing with by simply being aware of the things that we've been talking about. Your stress levels, your food intake, your environment, your relationships, the people you surround yourself with, and your perception. What are you focused on, right? If you're focused on negative, bad, hurtful things that make you feel terrible about yourself or terrible about your life, well, you're going to need drugs, alcohol, anything else to keep you going just to live that kind of a lifestyle. Of course you will, because you don't want to be living that kind of a lifestyle. But if you change your focus and start focusing on what you actually want to be doing, the lifestyle you want to be living, and you take little steps every day to create that, everything is going to change.
I love the fact that, you know, what we're really sharing with you is some of the antidotes. I'm a great believer in vision boards, and this is something that we really would encourage everyone to do, is have literally 2 pieces of paper and a pen and go, okay, this is what's going on with my life right now. These are the things that are causing me stress. What are they? Are they the family situation? For a lot of people recently, it's been homeschooling their children. Let's hope this comes to an end. And partnerships being challenged by being confined and staying at home for a long period of time. And difficult conversations, work situations, financial situations, all of these things can cause huge amounts of stress in your environment. And so we would encourage you to, as Reg said, to have that awareness, to be aware, be blunt, honest with yourself.
Blunt honesty.
And have that piece of paper and go, okay, this is what's showing up in my life right now. We then take the other piece of paper and we write down our ideal scenario. What is going to remove that stress? Now, it might be more money. It might be the fact that the children are going back to school. It might be that you change your job, your career, that you change your eating habits, or you change the environment because it doesn't represent and make you happy. Once you know what the awareness of what is not working for you, then you can start building on what does.
And there's the magic.
And there's the magic. It might be that you want to come off the medication. You might want to look at the alternatives. You might have been habitually doing stuff just one way for a really long time, and you've never actually thought about it because there's no awareness. And so,
and maybe sometimes people just don't realize that they have a choice, right? I talk to many people that they, you know, when you kind of open up their eyes and go, you know, you could do this rather than doing that, they almost look shocked, like, really? I can? So that's why I keep coming back to awareness. Don't be stuck in your beliefs, and don't let your beliefs limit you.
yes. And so other things that we can do when we have that awareness, and we can't necessarily, you know, change our whole world in one day, but it's those incremental changes that can make a massive difference. So we've just discussed diet. Looking at the way that you're fueling your body is so important. The second thing is really how you're treating your body. What are you doing on a daily basis that's going to really support you?
For you.
Exactly. So it might be that maybe you aren't taking the amount of exercise that you need. If you have a stored amount of adrenaline, it's coursing through your body, you need to get rid of it. And for the last year, all the things that normally one does, go to a tennis match, go and watch a football match, go to meet your friends and socialize, all of those things that we normally associate with decompressing our stress are certainly things that haven't become the norm. And that in itself is really stressful.
Well, that's a very powerful point that you just created there. And that is an awareness that we do need to really focus on and be aware of. That we are used to going out and doing things. You know, go out in a football game and scream and yell at the top of your lungs. I mean, just yelling and expanding energy is one way to eliminate stress. Or you go out with your friends, or you go dance all night, or you go exercise, or you run a mountain, or you go play with the dogs, or go plant a garden, or all these different things where we're doing something and changing our perception. Again, this comes back to what are you focused on, can dramatically affect how you feel and how your body is reacting. So if you're just staying at home and you're living in fear and you're focused on, I can't do all the things that I want to be doing, and I'm not allowed, and I'm not doing, well, that's going to be your focus of negativity, which is why your energy levels are going up, and your food levels are going up, and your heart rate is going up, and all these different things, because you're focused on that. So again, I love your idea of creating another list of the positive things. So instead of focusing on what are you dealing with and how to deal with it, forget all that. Focus on what do you want to do? What kind of a life do you actually want? What do you really want? And here's another challenge for you. Write this down. Every day, I want you to write down 10 things that you want to create in your life. 10 things that you would like to have around you. Either things that you're doing, ways that you're living, the type of people, but not necessarily an individual, but types of people that you'd like to have around you. Like, do you want singers around you? Or do you want comedians around you? Or do you want people who write books or whatever? Surround yourself with people or get to know people that are doing things that you would like to do, whether it's learning a new language or learning an instrument or whatever it is. And every day, write down 10 things that you would like to have in your life and start looking at how you can bring those things in, or how you can maybe even dedicate 10 minutes of your time every day to one of these things. And for the next 7 days, you're going to write down these 10 things, but every day it has to be 10 different things. You can't write the same thing down twice.
Oh, that's quite a challenge.
Yes, so by the end of the week, you're diving deep, right? Because the first 2 or 3 days are going to be easy. Oh, I want more money, and I want to go on a holiday, and I want the thing to be over, and I want. But by the time you get to the end of the week, now you're diving deep. And you're getting into who you really are and things that are really important about you and things that you really should be focusing on. So by the end of the week, those are going to be the important things that create the awareness that should be priority on your list that you're working towards on a regular basis.
Amazing. So as I said, we're really talking about stress today, and here on Rejuveness.tv, we want to empower you to really embrace your stress and use it positively for you and your family. And the things that we're really talking about now are what you can do as antidotes. So that what can you do to really empower yourself to create a state change within your body and within your mind. And certainly movement is a big one.
I was just going to say, and for those people who don't like to exercise, I have a little booklet specifically for you. Or even for everybody who normally likes going to the gym, but now you can't because the gyms are closed. Go to rejuveness.com, and there's a great little booklet that's called Exercises That Don't Feel Like Exercises. They're simple, easy little tips and tricks and strategies and techniques that you can incorporate into your everyday life. And clients that I've been working with that are trying to lose weight or trying to change the shape of their body, because not everybody wants to lose weight, they just more want to change the shape of their body.
Yeah.
By incorporating these simple little things from this book, Exercises That Don't Feel Like Exercises, into your life on a regular basis, you can achieve weight loss and body changing goals quite quickly. Because it's simple little things. You don't have to go and spend an hour. You don't need special clothing. You don't need special equipment. You don't need special nothing. These are little things that you can do for 10 seconds, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, all day long. And you'll find if you spend 10 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds doing something all day long, by the end of the day, you've now spent 20 minutes, 30 minutes exercising all day long. And because you're constantly doing it all day long, now your energy is being used in a different way. That dormant energy that usually just sits there and stores food and excess fat away is now all of a sudden starting to burn this stuff as fuel. Because your body sees, hey, I'm moving and I'm active and I'm doing things. Just like if you go out gardening or if you go for a walk or you do go to the gym and exercise, right? All day long, your body is now starting to use this stuff. So you'll see just naturally, you start losing weight. You start feeling better. You start having more energy. You start sleeping better at night. And these are comments that people start making to us on a regular basis when they start working with us, because within the first 30 days, people are noticing dramatic change in multiple areas of their life. And this is just one simple area where they go, wow, you know, I wanted to lose weight, or I wanted to change my body shape, and I've been going to the gym, or I'm working with this trainer, or whatever, for months or years. And just with 30 days with you, and it seems like I'm not even doing anything, everything's happening very simple and easy. And that's the key. We want to keep things simple and easy so that you consistently do it. It's not a diet that you go on for a couple of weeks or until you reach your goal and then you go off it and go back to what you're normally doing. No, this is about changing lifestyles, about being aware of what you used to do to create the situation that you're now in, and simply changing that so that the future holds a completely different reality than you're now.
Love it. And we've talked a little bit about breathing today and how important breathing is. I'm a yogi, so I love yoga to manage my stress, to deal with my stress and empower me. I always do a really, really strong practice if I'm feeling overwhelmed. And a lot of people are feeling very overwhelmed, which brings us back to the breath. So there are so many things that you can get online free through YouTube. And all the different ways of actually just following a practice, even if you can't get to a studio, and breathe. And again, as Reg said, putting music in your ears and just concentrating on your breath can change everything. It can really change your ability to concentrate. It can also slow down your heart rate. It can improve your digestion. And certainly if you are struggling with going to sleep at night, then breathing is one of the ways, with a little bit of gentle music in the background, that can start to put you in a different vibration and calm you down. And what happens is that the body is very clever, is that when it starts to recognize a pattern in your behavior, it will act in a different way. So at the moment, if your pattern of your behavior is that when you're stressed and you then think, I'm going to try and go to sleep now, or I'm going to try and go to the gym now, or I'm going to try. The minute you say try, it never happens. So what we have to do is adjust the self-speak, what we're talking to ourselves about in our head, and then have those antidotes in place. So if you start to put on the calm music, you then begin to breathe, your body starts to learn a new habit. And that habit then becomes a new lifestyle pattern. And that lifestyle pattern takes you out into a new way of feeling balance and harmony in your own being. And this whole awareness, making sure that, you know, physically how you are seeing your stress show up in your own health, and then emotionally how you deal with it, and your environment as to what you need to change, suddenly you have got the layers being put down to create the change that you want in your personal health. And that's going to affect everyone.
Absolutely.
It'll affect your family, it will affect your partnerships, your relationships, it will affect the chemistry of your body, it will affect the harmony that you feel, and your self-wellness, and also your self-empowerment.
Yeah. And it'll improve your personal brand value. You know, you and I often talk about that, especially with the clientele that we normally work with. Brand value is everything, right? People look at you and they judge you, just like you look at others and judge them. So what is your brand value? And you can compare that with what is it that you want to achieve in your life. You know, do you want better relationships? Do you want a better job? Do you want to earn more money? Do you want, you know, whatever it is that you want in your life, you first have to take a look at what your brand value is. And I loved your example with breathing. So why don't we just take a quick 30 seconds and breathe? Because breathing is vital. So sit yourself up. This is a little bit of that body wisdom. Just get yourself, sit up nice and straight. Because the straighter your spine is, the taller up you're sitting, the more your lungs have room to move. If you're slouched over, you're kind of all crunched and your organs are getting all crunched and the tummy's all crunched. So sit yourself up nice and straight. Put your lower back flat against the table.
You might be at work right now, so
wherever you are, all we're doing is taking a couple of seconds. We're going to do three deep breaths. That's it. 3 deep breaths. Just take this time just for yourself. 3 short, deep breaths. So we're going to breathe into the count of 5 and out to the count of 5. And what I want you to do is imagine, actually feel as the air comes into you. You want to fill up your belly button first. You're going to feel your belly come out. And when your belly is as full as it can be, then you're going to come up to your chest. And as your chest comes out, remember that your chest is almost like a balloon. As you breathe in or as you blow up a balloon, the balloon grows up bigger. It doesn't just grow up like this. So you don't want your chest just coming up in the front. You want to feel your rib cage expanding to the sides as well and in the back as well. So as that full around, all the way around your body, you're expanding. All right? 3 deep breaths to the count of 5. You ready? 1, 2, 3. And out to the count of 5. Into the count of 5 through your nose. And out to the count of 5 through your mouth. And last one, stomach first.
Am I allowed to laugh? Because that was actually really funny. There's probably lots of people sitting there in the office with their headphones on at the moment and they're sitting there and breathing. It is really, Audrey is saying, breath work in and pranayama is really amazing for the breath. It is
Absolutely.
so important, but so is laughter.
So is laughter.
And there's no person on the planet better than Audrey Spearing who would make you laugh. So, breathing, laughing, empowering yourself, taking a moment.
Absolutely.
It's also so relevant to really supporting yourself and helping yourself to empower yourself and those people around you. And thank you, Sarah, for your wonderful comments on there. And yes, happy International Women's Day today. We are celebrating every earth woman goddess on this planet today. And, it's a day for men to honor women and always for women to honor men, and for every human on this planet to honor each other, to make sure that we're in the best health, that we're looking after each other, that we're supporting each other, and that we are creating awareness. And if you know somebody who is struggling with stress at the moment, they're not managing, as Reg says, you don't want to manage anything. You want to empower yourself through information, through change, through knowing what state you're in and how to rebalance and to really help yourself. Sex is absolutely the best thing for stress.
Audrey, nice comment, Audrey. Can everybody see that comment? Because I'm not going to say it online.
I just did. But anyway, it's really, really important that we are aware of each other and take care of each other. We, for the last year, experienced so much change in our world. We're learning new habits that are not serving many of us, and we need to be able to give each other the strength, the support, the kindness, the helpfulness to really empower each other, to work together to eliminate as much stress in our personal environment, in our home environment, in our work environment, and within the relationships that we have with each and every one.
Yeah.
And so many people are going through extremes of stress at the moment because of financial stress, because of partnership stress, and all of those things we need to be aware of so that we can help and support each other and create a unity that will really change that state for everyone. Yeah. So if you haven't picked up a copy of Reg's book, Be You, it's such an empowering book because everyone needs to look at those elements that we are gradually taking you through in our series at Rejuveness TV to help to empower you to be the best version of you.
And just in the last couple of seconds, we're going to just be aware of how that breathing did for you.
Make me laugh, which is
Makes
wonderful.
you laugh. And yes, and we want to keep that energetic on a very high, right? You want to focus on what you want, and that's being bluntly honest with yourself, right?
So jump up after this program today, go and give somebody a hug and make sure that you are moving around today. Drink plenty of water, make wise choices about who you're spending your time with, what you're eating, and really what you're thinking.
And try to be in that love energy. Every time you're feeling stressed, just get into that love energy and give out love, because it comes back to you far more than you put out.
So from Reg and I, thank you so much for joining us today at Rejuvenesce TV.
Thank you for sharing your time and energy with us.
Please do follow us on Instagram or Rejuvenesce, on Facebook, join our community, and also on our website page, rejuvenesce.com. We have so many tips on there for you, courses that you can take, books that you can read, and things that can really empower you to live your best life in the body that you love to live. Goodbye from us.
Bye.